Well, we may have had plenty of rain this past week, but Rand Water is warning water levels dropping sharply in reservoirs around Johannesburg. It seems there's been a significant increase in water demand. The problem worsened by load shedding, which of course hampers the pump stations. Let's discuss this now with Justice Mohale of Rand Water. Thank you so much for your time. So why has water consumption gone up at this time? Anything to do with that dramatic water burst near Naturena recently?
Thanks so much for this opportunity. No, it has nothing to do with that. That was a project that we had to do, and we fixed it. Unfortunately, after the heavy rains, when the sun started now to come out, everybody wanted they wanted to use water for various things that they were doing. The end user has some of our members of our communities have been using water excessively, which is why last week we had to send a memo to 3 of our customers, the city of Ekurhuleni, city of Johannesburg, and the city of Tshwane, to alert them of the high water demand.
I don't understand why we're using more water. Just explain that to me a little more, with a little more detail.
What I can say is that in terms of the value chain, as Rand Water, we abstract the raw water from the Val Dam, we purify, we supply the municipalities who are our customers. So I think the problem is the end user. People who use water. Most people, I think, they do not heed to advices. As Rand Water, we're always on radio, on TV, all over in the media, asking people to use water sparingly, to use water responsibly. Even municipalities, we are on the same level. We always advise people to use water sparingly, to say, South Africa doesn't have sufficient water. Please use these scarce resources responsibly. But you find that in some cases, people continue to use water irresponsibly.
All right. So what restrictions are in place, or are you just appealing to customers in Ekurhuleni, Tshwane and Joburg just to be careful with their water usage?
So we monitor the water that we provide to municipalities. And as we monitor, we see the trends in terms of consumption. And it's just normal standard practice for us to alert our customers when the consumption is high, so that we do not deplete the system. Because if the system is depleted, their system and our system as Rand Water is depleted. Depleted, I mean, if it goes empty, it's going to be difficult for us to raise the water levels. So remember, in terms of the value chain, we have to raise the water levels in our reservoirs, and the water must be between 60 and 90% before we can release water to the municipalities' reservoirs.
Right.
And for us to raise water in our reservoirs to between 60 and 90%, we need close to 7 hours.
I see.
Yes.
I see. So you're asking people just to be careful with their water use. I just want to clarify something. Am I correct that you're not saying, oh, we don't have enough water because our dams are quite full? What you're saying is that getting water through the system takes some time. So if the end user's using it up quicker than we're planning for, you're going to be without water for a period. So be careful and use water sparingly. Because is that right?
Exactly. We do have enough raw water as we are speaking now. But the problem is the purified water that you and I drink as consumers. Raw water has to be taken through rigorous purification processes. And the cost of purifying the water, it's very high. That is why we always say to people, please use water responsibly, because the cost and the time to purify the water it's quite costly to purify water.
In other words, even when there's enough water, we've got to really watch and just be careful with our water usage. We are heading, of course, here in the north of South Africa into the dry winter season. Are you concerned about any sort of water shortages, or are we well stocked in our dams as we head closer to winter?
I must say in most cases people talk only of the Vaal Dam. We do have 14 other dams in the country. In case the Vaal Dam, that is the primary provider of raw water to us, that can be used. Water can be released from those other dams. So we do have enough raw water for now. But if we don't pass this message to people, if we don't conscientize people about the importance of using water responsibly, so even the water that we have, the raw water that we have, we may find ourselves in trouble. That is why we keep on telling people, please, if you can use a substitute for water, please do that. Don't wash your paving with a hose. Don't wash your car with a hose. Better sweep your paving at home. And if you have other substitutes, please use the substitute, not water, because it's costly to purify water. That is why we always keep on monitoring water consumption into various municipalities and other customers. And we keep on saying to them, you have to impose restrictions because we don't want our system to be depleted.
Absolutely.
As I said, it takes time to raise the water levels in our reservoirs.
And you know what? You make a good point generally as well, that we are living actually in a water-scarce country. We should never go crazy with our water usage. Thank you very much for reminding us of that. Justice Mohale of Rand Water there.